Yep, and now Mountain and 2 Infernals mean the Baron gets cut down awfully quickly. OpTic will take their second Baron of the game and look to charge down top to finish things off.
Wait, what is Dokla buying? He's gonna buy Yomu's? He's gonna buy Yomu's Ghostblade? I think he's gonna buy Yomu's Ghostblade. But yeah, gets blocked there by Damonte. Doesn't matter that his Q's interrupted. Doesn't matter that he gets eaten up. He's gonna use the stopwatch. And then they all go, well, we can't stay there. And he flashes away. And they chase him down. Oh!
Huni is staying very
This is
composed.
what Huni has become. This is what he's become.
I'm impressed, personally. The composure to not steal the red buff.
I would have taken it as soon as he didn't kill it. I was like, oh, well, should have been more fed, buddy.
I don't know if it's the least of their problems. Probably that Piglet didn't get the red buff immediately with his ulti, because there's 2 lanes of supers pushing in, and the rest of OpTic with 2.5 minutes on Baron, trying to finish this one off in record time.
And Dokla is getting the components for, I don't know, he'll buy with some lethality item, but I'm ready for the Yomus.
So, I forgot to mention this earlier, and we might not have time, but I remember watching solo queue before the season started, and I saw Dokla Scion quite a lot. And he was the guy that was just like building Trinity Force Sterex on every Scion game. So he is no stranger to something a bit more aggressive, and it looks like he's having fun in this one.
Yeah, he's having fun. He can spend that gold on whatever he wants. He's already as tanky as he needs to be in this game. His W's given him, what, 1,200 extra HP. He's walking the minions in on the bottom side of the map right now. Clutch Gaming, they're going to have to do something to answer him. The answer seems to be Huni. I don't know if the answer is going to be enough here.
Again from Crown. There's a Siege ulti. Good flank ult there by Dokla. Dardox moves in. Asta going to swoop straight in with the ultis. He takes down Lyra and almost picks off Vulcan.
Monte's going to execute.
Asta again looking to try and get picked off, but he goes invis after the stopwatch to keep himself alive. Turrets falling left and right. OpTic just going to leave Clutch's base in ruins as Dokla finds a double knock-up, and Clutch just don't have much fight left in them. Insult to injury here as Damonte's trying to fish for that final kill. OpTic want this last inhib if they can get it. Actually,
They're so low. Everybody is so low right now. And that's going to be Dokla just getting some HP back over time from the Warmogs. And they're just going to try to walk this one down. OpTic are going to try to ruin the 3-0 start potential for Clutch.
Nice stopwatch there for Huni as Dokla's ult is back already. He flashes out though as OpTic continue to apply pressure. Still 50 seconds left with this Baron. They can just walk the supers in towards the Nexus.
Yeah, and Dokla could probably just start punching that thing down. Even if he dies, he's going to walk it. He's going to be like, yeah, time for Scion.
Damonte Blade does pop Zhonya's. Lyra able to slay Gate. Also low, he's in stasis as well. It's just anarchy here in Clutch Gaming's base. But that's more than enough for OpTic to push themselves to 2-1 as they drive the school bus straight into Clutch's Nexus. Their academy, it makes sense.
And Dardox giving the golf clap on top of it, like, yeah, that was a game. They honestly had that from the beginning, where that fight went awry in the jungle on the top side of the map. The 2 early game champions from Clutch Gaming were shut down. They had almost no say in the game afterwards, and OpTic ran away with that lead on Dokla, the new guy coming in right now.
Could not have asked for a better first Scion ult, I think, if you're Dokla coming back to play on the LCS stage once more. For Clutch, it's tough. I mean, they were looking to be the other undefeated team, to be up there with Team Liquid as the team to not drop a game. Unfortunately, it is now Liquid, the sole possessor of first place.
Yeah, but Clutch Gaming will have a chance tomorrow to bring them down and bring them to their level, because they play as one of those games.
That's true. They can still be tied.
Yep, they could be tied.
At the end of the weekend.
Not undefeated, though. And that's one where, it's becoming more and more like Damonte and Piglet are having the better mid games, the better late games here. And Huni and Lyra are just being too aggressive too early. Even though they have aggressive champions, one thing goes wrong and the whole game just ends up with them getting killed multiple times.
Well, for OpTic, that was a well-deserved victory, so we're going to send it down to Ovly and the OpTic top laner for more on that game.
Thanks, guys. Dokla, welcome back and congratulations. How was your first game back at LCS?
I actually felt really good being back compared to my last time when I first started in LCS. I felt more comfortable and actually really excited to play on the stage. Yeah.
So we did miss you week 1, but what was it like for you watching Crown and basically all of OpTic Academy play?
I mean, 10-man roster, I think is going to be the next thing. So it's good that we embrace it and starting with it. So I mean, I was sad at first since I wasn't playing, but I ended up being supportive, just Yeah, I believe in our 10-man roster.
So is there more talks of a 10-man roster? Because I remember last weekend I had talked to Dardoch, and he said that I think that game was only his first game that he played with Crown.
Yeah, well, we had a little visa issue, but Arrow's coming back next week, so yeah, we'll be sorted out on that. But yeah, that definitely was his like second game or something with Crown.
Second game, but you guys still looked great. Dokla, thank you again, and congratulations on the win. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. OpTic touting that 10-man roster. Dokla slots back in. Huge performance out of him on his Scion there in the top lane with a victory over the undefeated Clutch Gaming coming in to this one. Let's take a look at the pick order and draft here because we ended up with a rumble in the mid lane. And I think, Mark, you have some thoughts since we've been seeing kind of flex picks used all day, some to great effect and some to ill effect. How'd you feel about this one?
I mean, as soon as I saw this draft, I absolutely loved it. I mean, it is a little bit of a tell to lock the non-meta Rumble pick in as soon as you see the Akali, but it's still a flex. And so you can still move it around based off what else comes in, not after you've already seen both solo laners, and that allows them to get the Scion last pick. The Rumble goes into the Akali. And then they'd still have a very heavy early game focus, which is what we were talking about in previous games, where like you have a Rumble and a Lee Sin and a Thresh who are great in the early game, but then you have late game insurance and the Kai'Sa and the Scion. So this is a very well-crafted team comp.
Right, and then for Clutch Gaming, they have the Jace and they have the Lease, which is like one of the strongest top lane duos in the early game. But if you fall behind on that, it gets really bad because those two champions don't scale unless they're ahead of the curve of the game, if that makes sense. Like, Jace isn't that strong of a champion unless he's ahead of the game, like by a large margin, too.
Oh, we know that well here in NA. It feels like the big difference between Korean Jaces and here in NA is that the Korean Jaces
But that was a Korean Jace.
That was a Korean Jace.
He is a Korean Jace.
He's been here over here too long.
He's
taking a look,
he's
though,
NA Jace.
at that early game. The early skirmishes definitely went in favor of OpTic here as Lyra contests for a scuttle, ends up causing his death and first blood to go over to that Lee Sin. Kind of set the wheels in motion for the top side of the map to start going in OpTic's favor.
Right. If I was a mid laner, I'd probably be question marking ping my jungler there because I'm under my tower. I can't really help you there, my friend. I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, and then this one, like, feels bad for Huni because this whole skirmish is basically what destroys his laning phase. And, I mean, Dokla shut me the hell up from earlier in the day when I said, I don't care who OpTic puts in, you know, Huni's going to crush him. And then Dokla shows up here and ends up picking up a number of kills, which put him so far in the lead that he could rush an Iceborne Gauntlet and then start solo killing Huni. So this skirmish that happened at Raptors was basically the deathbed for Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, triple kill, came back to lane with like multiple cloth armors, and from there against two Doran's
That's not what you want to see as a Jace.
At that point, it's not Huni's fault. He has a CS lead, but there's nothing he can do to punish that Scion. Now, that being said, surprising to me at least, Clutch still found a couple opportunities to kind of stab back into the game, most notably down in the bot lane. Demonte going big on the Akali, picking up a couple kills, and the Infernal Drake off the back end.
Right, so when I actually saw this fight, I was actually super surprised that they were going for it, Clutch Gaming that is, but then I remember that they have Tahm Kench. So if you look at Kai'Sa, she never got involved in this fight. So even though Huni was the first to die in that fight, Clutch Gaming was first to react with the Tahm Kench and Ezreal ulti over. So Piglet and Vulcan played really well this game to keep Clutch Gaming in the game for quite a while.
Yeah, and this was a chance for them to actually get all the way back into the game.
50-50.
How bad it was. Yeah, 50-50 smite, not able to get it, and then they still managed to pick up a number of kills, and this was a moment where if Clutch walks away with that Baron buff, they could easily have found themselves back in the game because what teams need to realize when you play against Clutch, it feels like they're never out of it. That TSM game that they came back and won, everyone thought
of that bridging of the gap of the composition crafted by OpTic, and to see from early to late, they had options. They had the options the whole way through, and so even in those moments where things get a little dicey, you go, that's all right, because even if it goes to 40 minutes, they still have win conditions.
We have a Kai'Sa in our back pocket.
Right, and I think it works so well like with who their players are too, not just on a comp level, but like what players you have and what you're playing against. You have Scion, the most reliable part of your team comp, up against Huni. You have Crown, your best player probably, on the